Welcome to CRT episode 20, Cold Hard Trash. I'm your host, Trashcan Jones.
And I'm Breeeeeeg, fellow host.
And this episode is from a new location. We didn't really talk about it last episode, but we're in a new spot today. The video version does not tell a lie. The background's a bit different.
Last episode was from a new location.
Well, that's what I said.
Now this is an old location.
Well, it's the same.
Tired out.
It's the same
so
session.
Tired.
I get a new location. I'm moving again.
Yeah.
Goddamn. We're fucking tired of this one. We're done.
Yeah. Something more exciting.
Yeah, we didn't just kind of slip by because I had so many other things to mention. But this is brand new. It's a place that I now own and have equity in. Pretty sweet.
Nice. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
To the trash can.
You recently got a new kitten too.
I did. I was gonna bring that up.
Oh, he's cute. Did you decide on a name for her yet?
Captain.
Captain? Aw.
Yeah.
Love it.
Because she's like, I keep her in that like separate room.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for most of the day. Yesterday, I was able to let her and my older cat Suzu just like walk around the apartment, and you know, I didn't need to fully supervise them the entire time, and nothing bad happened.
Nice.
It's good. But when I have her in her room, she sleeps on my old captain hat.
Aww.
Because that one Halloween where I bought a pirate wheel.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, how am I gotta do something with it. Use it as a costume. But yeah, she sleeps on that hat, so Captain.
Cute. Perfect.
Yeah, she's so incredibly small.
Yeah, she fits in your hand. You sent me pictures of her. She's so tiny.
Yeah, it's because she's only like 6 weeks old. I guess soon to be 7 weeks.
Aw.
According to the vet, 6 weeks, and that was on Monday of last week. And so, yeah, she's just apparently you're not like typically gonna adopt a cat under 12 weeks. That's like the amount of time that people take to like raise and socialize the cat and stuff like that. But
Sure.
This one was an abandoned kitten.
Yeah. Time out.
Will I sneeze or will I not sneeze? That's our new recurring segment.
Dun, 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 dun. Willie sneeze.
I don't think so.
It'll come back to you.
Yeah, hold that thought.
I mean, if you do it directly into the microphone, just remind me to disinfect it next time.
You know, I'm pretty good with my sneezes of, you know, going into my elbow or into my shirt or something.
There it is. He will. If you placed your bet on he will, then you have won. You don't win anything, but
Yeah, we keep the money.
yeah, I had a real gross funny moment where I sneezed into my elbow, and I just was like, I didn't really feel like a particularly big sneeze or anything. Just kind of like, good. Like didn't feel anything clear out, and then I just kind of, I think I was setting up the table here, just kind of kept working, and Fatima came over and she touched my arm. It's just like As I just had the shit still on my arm, I was like, I'm so sorry.
What a prank! What a trap! You knew she was gonna come over from the other room and touch your arm in that specific spot. So
I laid the booby trap down.
Yeah. You gotta set up more booby traps.
Gotta set up more rakes. Just step on and just set them up around the house.
I think I did actually step on a rake and do that to myself once. I didn't like actually smack myself in the face, but like it sort of came up and like hit my chest or like arm
I was
or
saying,
whatever.
it's surprisingly easy to do. Once you just follow through with that step, that fulcrum just comes right back up. Or rather, your foot acts as a fulcrum and then just
Well, your foot acts as the weight. The fulcrum is the angle right there of the.
Oh, is it? I thought the fulcrum was like the wedge, basically, that the point goes over.
Yeah, the point goes over the turn of the rake.
Oh, I thought it would like technically go over your foot, because the rake is like one solid object, isn't your going around your foot? Like if you just look at the simple thing of like the wedge and the seesaw on top of it, in that scenario, wouldn't the foot be the wedge and the rake be the seesaw? Just the curve is what makes it happen, so that you can happen in a step. I don't know. I ain't no scientist. I just said a big word because I thought it would be fun.
I think it is the turn of the rake, but I don't know. We'll order. We'll get a physicist.
We'll order some rakes. Get a physicist on the line. get some testing done. We'll get into the lab.
You said we need to put more rakes on the floor, so we'll get to it.
some of my favorite comedy ever since I was a kid. I didn't watch a whole lot of Monty Python or The Princess Bride, though they are some of my favorite movies now. And I think just some of my favorite comedy growing up was just like that. Like speaking of really like. I don't know how you would describe it, like eloquently, like with long and with big words, but just doing it about something that is so utterly ridiculous. Like trying to describe like, you know, like how erect your penis is or something, but using like very like proper language. It's just, it comes off as the funniest shit to me. And it's seen a lot in British comedy that I've watched recently, but I don't know. I don't remember where I would have seen that as a kid, but I remember loving it for so long.
I'm following, but I don't think I could produce an example. I'm not that eloquent.
The most recent example I could think of from like modern television was an episode of Modern Family where actually the voice actor of Wheatley is a cameo of like a butler of a hotel, and he does just like this bit of like he comes in and out through inopportune times and just creates an incomplete picture of the situation in his head and just goes off those assumptions, and it's just a lot of like, you know, mishappenstance comedy, and he's explaining himself on why he's doing things, and it's even explaining it really doesn't sound funny, but it has me rolling laughing just of the way he does it. And that's why I think it's like maybe a uniquely British thing. I'm not sure, but it is some of the top tier comedy.
It feels like a British thing to me.
Yeah, I don't remember what I would have watched as a kid, but I remember as a kid like wanting to learn like kind of complex words just because they were funny in that way.
The main Monty Python and the Holy Grail specifically bit. The ones that I remember are both pretty early in the movies. It's the fact that instead of having horses, they just have coconuts and they clap them together. And there's the Black Knight, which, you know, it's only a flesh wound, and he's just sitting there completely all of his limbs cut off. And he's
I'll
like,
bite your ankles.
Yeah, like we're still fighting. What's up?
This is towards the beginning of one of my favorite scenes from the Holy Grail is the beginning when they're just talking about why he even has the coconuts in the first place. It's like, why do you have a coconut? That's not native to the land. And he's like, well, other things aren't native to this land, yet we still find them here. Like he said, like a swallow or something, and the guy just like pauses. Are you saying coconuts migrate? And they just go back and forth. It's just hilarious because King Arthur's so like eloquent with it and obviously like not trying to make jokes of anything, and that just makes it so much funnier.
I was also a big fan of the Holy Hand Grenade.
Of course.
Good little item. I love how it ended up in Worms.
Yeah, it's ended up in a lot of things. It's in Fallout New Vegas. It's in a lot of different games. It's just like a funny meme.
And near the end, where they've already lost people, you know, to that like fucked up rabbit and shit like that, there's a guy guarding the bridge. And he's like, you gotta answer my question to get past. What's your favorite color? Red, no blue.
He just gets destroyed, yeah. An African or a European swallow? Well, I don't know that. And he gets sent. A king must be knowledgeable in these things. The whole scene, too, where they're talking, like, trying to, what you call it. The guy's explaining why this woman's a witch and, like, the ways they could figure it out. And it's just, it's so ridiculous. Who are you, so wise in the ways of science? Just talking about throwing her into a lake and throwing a duck in the lake next to her. Or no, like weighing her next to a duck, and if she weighs more, then she's a witch or something like that. It's just, it's what they eventually come down to. It's this whole back and forth with the crowd. Just shit like, it makes me laugh so much. It's the top tier comedy.
I think the thing of the witch was referencing a lot of like those, accusing someone of being a witch, you know, the whole Salem witch trials thing. It was like sort of like a lose-lose thing, you know? They basically do something that would kill a human. Yeah,
if you drown, then you knew you weren't a witch. Sorry.
Yeah.
We thought you were a witch.
That's the whole thing. The duck,
really
the duck can float. Duck's not a witch. We hope, at least.
If the duck is a witch, then we got a lot bigger problems.
Yeah.
You said you never watched the Naked Gun movies, right? We gotta watch those one day.
I'm down to climb.
Damn, we gotta do that. Those are so good. They have like the jokes per minute are just off the charts. Like it's non-stop. Like anything that could possibly be a joke is a joke. Like the background, the people walking around in the background, just the set. Like there's a scene where they just walk through a door and one of the guys just walks in front of the set instead of through the door, just like walks like upstage and in front of the whole set piece. But they don't even mention it at all. He just continues walking on. It's just there's so many jokes. No matter what,
It's
like
an endless barrage.
right, everything you could possibly expect gets flipped on its head. Like you don't know what you're watching. It's so funny.
Hell yeah.
Like even like every time he just do an establishing shot of him pulling up onto the scene, like every single time will just like run into somebody, like hit 6 cars and his airbags will go off. It's just like there's never a normal moment.
And just step out and ignore it.
Yeah,
completely.
exactly. It's like the car's like he steps out, like he forgets to put his car in neutral, so like airbags just keep going off, like 17 airbags keep going off in his car as it's riding away. So he shoots it to try and stop it, and then he's like, "Anybody get a license plate on it?" Well, whatever. He just walks back into the police station.
You ever see that picture of someone like wanted to have a fancier steering wheel, so they hot glued a bunch of like rocks and stuff to it.
Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah,
And make it the most dangerous airbag like ever.
just making a shotgun airbag. Yeah, they put what you call it? I've seen when they put the it's like a pyramid of something like right in the middle of the horn. It's just, as soon as you get into an accident, Jesus takes the wheel, I guess, because you sure ain't anymore.
It's like there's a theory that like protocol for when a plane's going down is like you're supposed to like lean forward or something like that. You know, like if the plane's going down and you're a passenger, you're supposed to like, you know, tuck your head in like between your knees. And people say that
Yeah.
apparently is supposed to actually kill you faster.
Really?
Yeah, I mean people say it. I don't know if it's true. But that's definitely the idea behind putting a pyramid in the center of your steering wheel.
Just make sure that you die. If you want to get hit by the car, you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with all that shit. You don't want to deal with insurance at that point. Like,
Yeah, make them pay for the car wreck and your death. Now they murdered someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Double them.
Hit your political enemies. Force them to become murderers.
Bing, bang, boom. There's actually dying faster on an airplane. I think there's like a famous case of like a woman who got launched from the airplane in her seat and survived. Like just like stayed strapped in her seat. I don't know. Let me see if I can look that up correctly. It was either she got launched while in the seat or launched like while she was just standing, and either way she survived. It was a stewardess.
I know there was one case of a skydiver who both of their like parachute and backup parachute failed and they survived.
Oh damn!
Because they fell in a like bog or something or swamp. It was soft ground.
Cool. Well, I mean, yeah, the soft ground definitely helps. Yeah, it was. She wasn't even in a seat. It like a part of the plane blew open and she got launched out just while like standing up and survived
Oh,
the fall.
nice.
That's wild.
Do you ever watch Get Smart?
That's
The one with Steve Carell?
Yeah, and Anne
Well, I mean,
Hathaway.
it's an older series before that, but I'm talking about the Steve Carell one, yeah.
Yes, it's
And
like
how he
Anne Hathaway's the other one, right? Just want to make sure I'm talking about the same movie.
maybe the only one I recognized at the time was Steve Carell. So
There is a woman though, right? I'm not making that up.
yeah, I know. Yeah, there is. Because he goes to the bathroom and somehow hits a button that opens the floor below the bathroom and drops him out a parachute. And like a couple minutes later, she like goes to check on the bathroom and
Yeah,
like
and just
sees
sees
he's
the
not there,
hole.
and has to go chase him, and like does like gets a parachute and then does the thing and then finds him like falling. Which one, with the thing moving that fast, I don't know how easy that would be, but I love the fucking concept of it. Of just like he was gonna like he just killed himself.
Yeah,
like he
he's
hit the
gonna
button
die.
and he is falling from a plane and like someone comes by and rolls her eyes and like goes
Jumps
after
down
him
after him, Bugs Bunny style, just like
and finds him just just falling screaming. It's
what
so
else
good.
are you gonna do? Yeah, could be. I feel like falling to your death would probably be the best way to go. Like jumping out of an airplane without a parachute. Like if you were going to have to end your life in any way, especially if it was like you're like 90 something and want to go to like with the suicide chamber, like an assisted suicide thing. Drop me out of a plane. That'd be sweet. And I hit the ground, like my last images are falling from the sky. Like I'm gonna be a mess when I hit the ground, I'm sure. But just drop me good enough into a pan or something where you can just collect me all up, melt me down.
And just think of someone that you really don't like and then jump from the plane above their place.
Just land right through their roof.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. I want to get like cremated and stuff. I don't want to make a mess of it. So if I could just fall and like I don't know, like
a furnace,
a mixing bowl or something, a big old bowl, just fall right into the furnace, sure, but I feel like I might break the furnace. A human hitting terminal velocity.
Well, just get a parachute.
I'm not supposed to survive. Well, I guess if I aim myself into the furnace, then I have a chance to back out. See, I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotta be all or nothing once I jump. Can't be thinking about, oh, what if I don't?
Yeah, well, apparently that's like from like jumpers who ended up surviving, it's like the moment that they step off is like instant regret. Like not even when they hit the ground. So you gotta be like certain that you're gonna die.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
soon
an assisted suicide like thing, like
that.
your life is over and you're kind of sure of it and ready to get it on with. Just instead of put me into a pod where you press a button, just put me in the wheelchair and tip me out the plane. Woo! Put me in a Red Bull suit, so I can send me out. It'd be sweet.
You could probably start a business for this.
Right? Assisted suicide, like radical assisted suicide. Give them a sweet suit right before they go. Their last pictures of them just doing this, run the side of a plane.
Mm-hmm. And that's you charge a decent amount for it. All you got to do is rent a plane like once a month or something like that.
And a big bowl. We're gonna have to. I feel like you're gonna need to catch them and get the mess going because I feel like that's gonna be a big environmental disaster.
And a big guy
splatting people
just to carry the ball around.
Well, that could be a machine. I mean, I'm sure because there's people who like jump into free fall nets and they can aim it correctly. So I feel like if we just get the physics right, like that's part of the business. We get the math right to where we're pushing you out at the right angle. Smack the bowl. We'll have to have contingencies if you miss the bowl.
Maybe you could just do it like directly shovels. Over get like a concrete slab in the center of like a field of crops, like freshly planted. Fertilize it.
And just aim for the slab?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like some might drip off. You still need the edges. Like that's why I was thinking bowl. Splash.
Yeah, well, you want to get it in the dirt afterwards.
That's true. You can just plant the soil. Then you got that's like blood crops. I wonder if that'll make them more like artisan. Like this is the corn that was raised on the blood of people.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
Only ethically sourced. They actually paid us.
Be pretty sweet.
And then this kind of goes back to the whole thing of turning yourself into a tree.
Yeah, you're feeding a farm. Pretty good. Not bad at all. I like the idea. We got to get this business going. CRT is going to expand past the funeral business. We're going to usurp it.
Mm-hmm. I mean...
Sky funeral.
Yeah. If you mix the assisted suicide business with the, handling of the body business, you can probably get around a lot of those requirements.
So another cool way that I think I'd want to go, and I thought it would just be an interesting way, and it might be a little cruel-minded, but... If you were like a death row inmate where you were slated to get the injection, it was going to be in a week, and they were just like, hey, listen, you're going to get the injection, your life's over, state's deemed it, we're sorry to hear about that. But Stallone wants one more go at the Rambo movies, and he wants it to look really real this time. Do you want to be put in front of an MG42 and just torn to shreds instead of the lethal injection on screen? I feel like, because you can't actually kill people unless they're gonna die anyway. It's their choice if they want to get killed by Stallone and MG42 rather than a lethal injection.
I like the idea that in this hypothetical, Stallone is also completely okay with murdering someone with a gun.
He suggested this, yeah. In this scenario, he's all about it. He's getting up there, so he's getting wild with the concepts, but he wants to make it real. He's like, if we can, why can't we? If the problem is, we'll run out of actors, well, these people were gonna die anyway. I'm not saying they're expendable, but the state has already kind of deemed them goodbye. Just give them the option, whether it's gonna be Firing Squad by Sylvester Stallone or an injection where people can watch and it's kind of creepy. I would pick Stallone. That's all I'm saying.
You could have a set gaff where you don't put live rounds into the thing. It's like, oh man.
Well, see, that I feel like that would be for all of the practice cuts, because this guy's not an actor. You just gotta get him onto the set and all that, and then the one time you do the actual live shooting with the other actors around, that's when you have the bullets. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't be the best idea, but I feel like it should be an idea. I feel like if I was going to get injected with the lethal injection and that was going to be the end of my life, I'd be like, man, it's not even going to be a cool way to go. It just sucks. You just have to get strapped to a table and it's going to be painful and I'm going to suck.
Mm-hmm. Oh, apparently those...
At least I get to meet Stallone.
like the drugs that we use for that, apparently a good portion of them were coming from Europe, and they refuse to sell them to us now.
Oh.
So
So
a
we're
lot
gonna-
a lot of those drugs that we have for it are old. So it's supposed to be like not as painful, I guess, but with older drugs, you know, you can't really guarantee that's not going to be that way.
Interesting.
So the gun could be preferred.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, especially like Stallone's an old guy. They're gonna set it up to where like one of the first few shots will go like right through the dome and end you quick. You know, you're not gonna have to worry about gut shot or anything like that. But maybe you're one of those guys. You know, I don't want to judge anybody who likes getting hurt a lot, and you'd be like, you know, I really want Stallone to stab me in the stomach, and it's just like, if it's what you want, man. You know, I don't know. I'm just saying maybe we give these guys an option. Lethal injection seems a little bit cruel. That's the only way we're killing people. It's kind of like, come on.
Well, yeah, I guess, you know, we'll, now I gotta open up, I guess we're already talking about opening up the skydiving.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Assisted suicide. I mean, it's just
imagine
suicide.
if you got to pick
and
skydiving.
Choosing your way to go, like, yeah, but we already established that you might be able to survive a skydive without a...
Yeah, you have to have the
thing.
concrete thing, like make sure you splat real good, especially
Yeah.
for that one. But it's another thing. Imagine if like you were a death row inmate, you've been in prison for so long, and they're like, for your last run, you want to go skydiving, bud? Fuck yes, I want to go skydiving. Don't tie me to a chair and shoot me up. Throw me out of a plane.
Probably cheaper, too.
I don't know about that. I don't know what the cost of drugs is, but the plane, the concrete, the field that we're gonna have to plant, I feel like it's a lot of overhead. Well, if we already have the business though, then we could just kind of like, you know, supplement it with death row inmates.
Yeah. Government contracts.
Yeah, that's what I'm
The money
saying.
is-
Well, actually, it'd just be probably jail contracts, and they're private, so it'd be
True.
privatized contracts. Buku or bucks, baby. We make the rules.
Well, it might still be a government contract, because, like, it's not like the prison gets to decide to kill someone. The government does.
Yeah, the prison has contracts with. So I guess that's true. We don't have to be contracted with the government and the prison, because if we're actually the ones doing the killing, although they might just be the contract between government and the prison. We have a prison official just do the pushing. That might be, you know, we might have to wipe our hands of that. That's the prison's doing. We're not pushing people out of a plane.
Yeah, we
We're
just brought
we're
them
flying a plane. Hey,
Yeah,
yo.
we're just piloting a plane here. Completely unrelated activity.
Yeah, we're not killing nobody.
Easy peasy. Nice.
And then we got this all figured out. Bada bing.
Dude, we gotta get so much money to start these businesses.
Yeah, we got a lot of irons in the fire, but you know, it's good to have, you know, shoot for the stars. We'll end up at the moon or whatever.
Get your options.
Yeah.
Anyways, off the topic of murder. Yeah, I do have a baby cat.
Yeah.
And I love it so much. So
Cute.
small.
She got little socks.
Can't even get up onto the couch on her own accord. I need to lift her up. So
Aw.
if she ever needs, like, or wants my attention, just comes over and just starts, like,
Climbing up your
biting.
leg.
She hasn't been able to climb my leg, but sometimes she just, like, bite at my ankles. Which is
Literal
great.
ankle biter.
Yeah, because she's just so tiny. She does have fleas.
Poor thing.
She's under the age where I can administer flea medicine. So I think I'm just going to give the flea medicine to Suzu, my older cat.
Make sure he gets them off, yeah.
Yeah, so he doesn't get them, and then...
Can you at least just like brush her? Like use a
Yeah.
maybe, I was gonna say, maybe like brush her with
I
like
got
a
a
hot
flea.
comb and
I got a
stuff
flea
like that.
comb.
A flea comb,
thing,
yeah.
But yeah, I can't put the medicine. So I have given her baths, and I think so. My older cat like was not very interested, you know, like hissing and stuff like that.
Sure, new
know,
smells and new everything, probably.
But I put her in the sink to clean her off, and she made this heartbreaking yelp.
Oh.
And then Susie came over, and he meowed. I thought like maybe hearing this cat have to deal with something upset like gave him empathy.
Aw.
Because he came over and he seemed worried.
Aw. He did care about him. He tried to act not concerned, but he was.
Yeah.
Aw.
He also they slap each other pretty often.
Cats like
Which
to
is
do
funny.
that. The slap fight.
Yeah. Well, they'll just be like, you know, they like to hang out around corners by each other, so they each sort of have like cover,
No.
and they'll like come around and just go like
Whack, whack. Yeah.
and then back up.
It's a classic comic of like two cats cuddling and like, I love you. You know what? No, shit, I just whacked my mic stand. He just goes, you know what? And then raises his hand and fucking about to beat him.
Yep, that's how cats are. I ordered food yesterday, and I got one of the little drink carriers. I just toss them on the floor. They're toys now. And the little one just jumping in.
I'm saying he can fit in there, or she can fit in there probably.
Yeah, she can fit.
Yeah.
She sits in one of them and then puts her body into the front of her body into the other one, and then does a little bit of scratchies and things like that.
Cute.
My mom also gave me a robe to wear to hold the cat and have it be warm and stuff like that. And I'm pretty sure she confuses it with a mama cat, because she'll turn to the robe and just start biting on it.
Oh, suckling on it?
Yeah. I mean, I have a can of replacement cat milk.
That's good.
I don't think they're milking cat titties for that. I think it's just synthesized.
Yeah, they just need certain enzymes, I remember, so they can have their organs be good.
So yeah, and the food I prepare for her is I got regular kitten food and some of this milk. So I guess her favorite meal is tuna in milk, which I'm not very interested in trying, but hey.
She likes it. Little captain.
Just what an interesting meal. I can get all the other cat foods, made out of whatever fish, fish and chicken, stuff like that. Occasionally beef. It's like a milk steak. It's just like tuna.
She's a baby. She needs the mixed food.
Which also reminds me, there's this one time I had bought some tuna steaks, and I had some beef tallow from cooking beef recently.
Right.
And I thought, I can just use the beef tallow instead of some other type of oil for cooking. So I did that, and it came together with the tuna, and it just sort of tasted like a regular steak.
All right.
Now, I don't necessarily think that would be cheaper, because you still need beef tallow, but beef tallow is probably cheaper than beef. But then the cost of tuna, I don't know how much.
Yeah, as opposed to butter, and then you just get the taste of tuna or any kind of oil. Yeah.
But interesting replacement. I don't know, that doesn't get around any eating restrictions though. If you can't eat beef, this does not fix it.
Right. If you're Episcopalian or whatever it is, pescatarian.
Yeah.
That only eats fish, that also not good.
Yep. So I guess it doesn't solve any problems for anyone, but I got to do an experiment and it worked.
If you're looking to eat healthier though, you don't want to eat too much red meat, and you could fry your tuna in red meat.
Sounds sort of keto.
Maybe.
But even then, they probably eat beef. I don't know too much about keto. All I really know about it is that it was originally designed for kids with a specific type of epilepsy. And it's just a really high fat, no or low carb diet.
Yeah, it's very low carb.
That prevents you from having those seizures. And it includes 2 cups of sour cream a day.
Jesus. Whoa.
Yeah.
Eat a lot of just ground beef and sour cream tacos, I guess.
Yeah. I mean,
Shit.
you have carbs on that, so.
Yeah, are tortillas carbs? Those count?
Pretty sure.
Damn. That's crazy.
Especially if they were flour, but I'm pretty sure corn ones have carbs. Because carbs are just long chain of sugars. So if you have a carb and you continue to chew it and you just keep it in your mouth for a long time, it'll start tasting sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made an interesting tuna steak, and now I gotta hammer down who would possibly be the market.
Who is this for?
This is the other business that we're opening up.
Tuna steaks that taste like real steaks.
Yeah.
Just tricking people. I don't know. Maybe tuna is cheaper than beef. I feel like it wouldn't be though.
Yeah, because you gotta get it out of the water, And those motherfuckers are huge. They're the size of cows, I imagine.
I don't know. They're not they might be the length of cows, but they're definitely not the thickness of cows. They're big fat fish.
They're huge. I think they might be as big as a cow. Well, I'm gonna actually Google this.
I definitely don't think they're the weight of a cow, but they might be end to end the same length as a cow.
weight 1,100 pounds is the.
Yeah, definitely
first
tunas don't
answer.
weigh 1,000 pounds. I think tunas are like maybe a couple hundred.
Between 40 and 500 pounds for most tuna. Atlantic bluefin can get as big as 10 feet long and weigh up to 2,000.
Oh.
But then again, you could also get like a big cow, but it's probably easier for a water animal to get like crazy big, you know?
I don't know. Would it be easier for a water animal to be crazy big? 'Cause I feel like you have a harder time controlling that environment as opposed to like breeding a cow.
Well, you're like
specifically...
you're buoyant, you know? Like you kind of don't have to deal with gravity as much, you know, your own weight as much.
Yeah, but you got
You won't struggle
predators
to
out there
stand.
in the sea. Fucking, even if you're 2,000 pounds, a shark can still come and take a bite out of you, and then you're done for.
Yeah, but you're a big ass fish. You just wham 'em with your tail.
I don't know if tuna fish are fighting off a shark. I also don't know if they're fighting sharks from where they're at, but I don't know. Seems like it'd be easier to grow a larger thing in an environment that you have complete control over, like a cow or a chicken, as opposed to a fish that's kind of out there in the seas.
Yeah, well, they didn't put that stipulation on the cow, you know, that it might be get to 2,000 pounds. So tuna still wins. Tuna up. Yeah, they like apparently auction them,
Yeah.
and so like they'll catch them and they'll bring them in, and then like I wonder how many cans you get out of one tuna, because a can of tuna is like under $1.
I think it's like a crazy statistic of like 96% of the tuna population was depleted, and still there's no shortage. So a lot, I assume. Have you seen that documentary, Jiro Dreams of Sushi?
No.
It's basically a documentary of this guy who runs like the premier sushi stop in a train stop in Japan. Who is like, he has one guy that he sends out to the fish market to pick one fish to buy. If he can't buy that fish, he just doesn't buy any fish that day, because that guy's got the nose or the eyes, whatever it is, to pick just the best fish. And when he gets that fish, he makes sure his knives are like sharpened to the utmost degree, washes them. He has like all these different very particular practices to make everything just perfect. And it's just a very like a meticulous, the documentary of a meticulous man and all these different things he does. It's pretty cool of how he makes he has perfection. There's a baseball player, Ichiro, who takes a lot of inspiration for him. He like carries his bat, or carried, he's retired now, carried his bat around in like a, I don't know what you would call it, like a temperature protective case that would be like, you'd be able to open up. He did a lot of like, he wanted to keep everything perfect. If the tools are perfect, then he can be perfect. It's only up to him.
I appreciate like the artistry in cooking like that, you know, where when you're kind of making art more than you're making food at that point. Like, of course you were gonna eat it, you know, like that. It's a medium of eating.
It's $100 for a ticket to watch. You don't even get to eat if you buy that ticket. You just get to watch people get served.
Wow.
It's crazy. Like, people just pay to watch him make this, because he does everything like very like intently, and it's wild. Mm-hmm. It's just it's a sushi shop and a train station. It's not like a big restaurant. It's just like, you know, a little 6-person stall or whatever, like 10 people over sit at the counter.
Mm-hmm. And you're only getting one fish.
Yeah, and he's only getting the one fish because he only needs to serve that much a day.
I did
just
fillet
perfect.
a fish before, so I could probably, you know, match up with him.
I've filleted a fish or two in my day. What do you got, Jiro?
Yeah.
His son runs a restaurant too, but I don't think he has the same super high standards. He has a much more like realistic view for like expanding bigger.
Yeah, I mean, if you have standards that high, like, it only works if you have a name and like respect and stuff like that.
And that you have keep things small. I mean, perfection gets like harder to keep as things get bigger and bigger, because you be able to lose scope of everything.
I'm saying, like, it with something that small, you need a big name.
Oh yeah.
You need to have attention enough that you can charge your insane prices that you must have for this.
To make big money, but I figure like if you're only buying one fish, you know, how much sushi do you need to sell to make up the money for that one fish?
And rent.
And keep the lights on and rent. Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's, you know, one fish a day, you pay rent a month, so you buy 30 fish, you know, you do all the math and everything. I imagine it's like, compared to another restaurant who has to buy multiple fish, multiple things for dishes and things, probably a lower overhead than most. Even with like all the the quality of the food comes from within him. It's stuff that he creates. So really, it's like a lot of the business expense is his personal expense rather than an actual expense.
Yeah, I just meant, like, if you split up a single fish a day, maybe.
Yeah, it's maybe a day, because
Then,
sometimes
like,
he doesn't have the fish, and he
you
just
gotta
closes
sell
that
it
day.
for a pretty good amount of money. And if you're, like, walking by, and it's just, there's a stall here, and it's like, sushi, $100, even though that's just the price to watch, you know?
Right.
But if I came by and saw, like, sushi, $100...
Well, it didn't start at like $100. He didn't like start by showing like selling tickets to view him watch sushi. It just kind of grew naturally with that.
Yeah, but like I'm just thinking like the margins of like if you're only gonna do one fish, you got to sell it for a lot of money, and if you're gonna sell it for a lot of money and you don't have that name, you don't have that attention and respect of everyone.
It's just not gonna work.
So maybe the son might go on to do something like that in the future, but you need to. Like, I don't know where this guy got his start, but I can't imagine that, like, he got out of sushi school and this was the first thing he did.
I think the documentary probably goes over it. I don't remember exactly, but I think he was taught by his father just how to make sushi. Ooh. Yeah,
Maybe I should go to sushi school.
Go to sushi chef rolling school.
Yeah. I'm sure it exists.
Got to.
I mean, there's also there seems to be like a master protege type relationship for a lot of people, but like there's got to be some type of standardization, right?
Yeah, same for hibachi chefs, I imagine too. They all learn the same tricks of like the onion volcano and choo-choo train, spinning the eggs on the spatula, whoop, dropping them in their hat.
That's I think that's a little bit different than like getting like very precise like cooking stuff like that. It's like
it's a different kind of precision.
This is why at sushi school you have different classes, or like hibachi school. You have like the actual cooking parts of it, and then there's like
the showman parts. Or,
yeah, different
gotta...
classes you got to take. It's a really booked semester.
It's just like show chef school, how to do really cool stuff as a chef. Chef plus. That'd be wild if you learned to do all of that and you just became like a super chef where you were like a perfect sushi maker and then you turned around at the hibachi grill and just flipping knives around. Or flip knives around while you made sushi. If you made it so perfect and then also were like making sushi like those Dishonored playthroughs where like you throw a knife in the air and then you just make the sushi and turn around and the knife falls and cuts the sushi in half. Shit like that.
And you're just like juggling knives and a fish at the same time.
Yeah. Then eventually it's just sushi in front of you and you just knife down. That'd be nuts. That'd also probably be dangerous. You probably like doom, and then like you realize you're missing 2 fingers.
Yeah.
Just like, oops, there's a couple of those cuts were a little too deep.
Yeah. But you can't wear like special gloves because then it's not as cool.
Yeah, no, then you're not. It's like you've seen that guy who does the metal nunchuck tricks. His face is healed now, so it's really he looks really cool doing it. But for a while, he just had like black eyes and broken noses while he was doing his metal nunchuck. He would show it off that he could do like bits of the routine, but yeah, it's just had a super fucked up face.
Damn. I mean, why like? Shouldn't you practice with regular nunchucks?
I mean, eventually you got to move on to the metal ones, and I mean, you got to do it. If you just, it's all about the what you call it. If you could do it with the regular nunchucks, good, but it's all about game time. Got to do it when the moment's right with the metal. You flinch a little bit because you're like, ooh, I know it's metal, and then dink, right on the nose.
Maybe we should challenge him to a fight.
Oh no.
Well, no, but there's like a maybe like 10% chance we just flat out win.
Well, he's only got the one nunchuck that he uses, so maybe.
Like, if you just roll the dice. If he bonks himself, we win.
Well, he's good at it now.
If he hits us once, then we just forfeit.
That's what I'm saying. His face is healed now, so he's probably really good at it. He's probably doing it real good not to not hit himself. If you've watched Bruce Lee movies, dude, one nunchuck in a man can fuck up like 15 people. No problem. It is insane. And granted, most of those guys are just like dancing in the background while one guy gets fucked up. Still.
I had nunchucks at one point. I was in like Taekwondo, and I got them, and I learned how to like flip it around my hand, and it was like cool.
Hell yeah.
And never got much farther. I kind of wanted to learn the bow staff because
cool.
That's a cool.
Donatello, you can do your little plant and then kick off it.
Yeah.
Shaolin style.
I never made it past like brown belt in Taekwondo, but
brown belt's pretty high.
Yeah. In American Taekwondo, there's like brown belt, there's like purple belt. I remember I had some like think I got a camel belt at one point.
I'm pretty sure it goes blue, brown, purple, then black, right?
There's way more than that. There's like red and orange and stuff like that. There's like
I thought those were all below. It must be different for Taekwondo than for the. I don't know if it's for karate. I'm thinking of.
Yeah. What order did you say?
I think it goes blue, purple, brown, black, like the last 4. If I'm not mistaken.
Was I brown belt? I don't know. I got decently up there, I guess. Maybe I was a purple belt. Who knows?
It goes blue, red, brown, black. Sorry, so purple's not up there. But brown still is, yeah. Brown. That's what I thought. It was the one below black.
Maybe I wasn't a brown belt then. That's the thing. I just don't think I made it that close. Then probably a purple belt, maybe.
Still pretty decent.
Yeah. As long as I did it. I could go back and finish, having forgotten like pretty much everything.
Yeah, you could pick up right where you left off. Yeah. I think Muay Thai introduced a belt system like recently, but back when I trained, they didn't have it. So I just have a couple years of experience in that.
And Muay Thai is no, I don't know. I was thinking of Jiu-Jitsu, which is grappling, right?
Yeah, Muay Thai is the elbows and knees striking. They do lots of kicks and elbows as opposed to like long punches. Though there's
less exposing yourself.
Yeah. There's actually a fighter nowadays who's taking the circuits by storm. He's doing a lot more straight punching for like framing up and stuff. Bucks people up. Does a lot more extension punches than normal people do. Pretty cool.
Extension punches, just like full extension?
Yeah, because normally in Muay Thai they'll wait till you get close and you have like little like clinch short punches, like short jabs coming from your waist a little more. But a lot of time for those longer reach things, people like to use kicks or check with kicks in the legs, but this guy likes to lean in and boom, actually dink him, which is a lot harder to do. It's a lot more offensive because you put yourself at risk, but come and challenge him. That's basically what he's saying with each of those punches. Pretty sweet.
I haven't watched a lot of fighting, but I remember seeing like one MMA fight, and this one dude was just kicking the other dude in the legs like all fucking fight. Like it was like I think a couple rounds.
It's rough. Rounds. Yeah, you can't walk after a couple of those, man. It's fucked.
Yeah, dude, he just kept on kicking him. It was insane.
When those got introduced into the UFC, it was a game changer because it wasn't really a thing. Like sometimes they do it in Muay Thai. It was really big, but it still wasn't a big thing for like trying to do for damage. It was mostly just like used as a jab thing for setups. But when people found out if you can torque in there and kick the back of a calf, whoo. That's basically like a body shot. That's basically like a full wound up. Like you can't use that like the same way anymore for like the rest of the day.
It's interesting how much like a lot of that is sort of about like chipping away at the other person's stamina and like ability to like use their limbs to attack you, as opposed to like just trying to like get them out.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the famous quote from Rocky. Ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep getting back up.
Which is just general motivational advice as well, but it's a lot more literal in fighting. There's
a lot of strategies in real life that have literally been like the Rocky strategy of, all right, I'm just going to let this guy punch me as hard as he can for as long as he can, and once he's done, then I'll win. And it's worked for a lot of great fighters where it's like, that's crazy.
Did they do that like Tyson-Jake Paul fight yet?
No, that got canceled because of Mike Tyson's medical conditions. He had like a heart attack right before that or something.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Well, they were also going to put like fucking limiter bands on him or some shit. Like he wasn't...
On Mike Tyson or on Jake Paul?
He was going to get limited, yeah.
Why would they put on an old man?
Jake Paul was going to get to wear a helmet and everything. And
oh, my God. That was he's an old man. I don't think he would really do anything more than 10 seconds worth of like functioning. Once he gets hit, he'd probably just die.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even get hit. Apparently, he had a medical emergency. So.
Yeah, he didn't even go to the fight. And when he fought Evander Holyfield, it seemed like there was something of like they weren't going to square off on each other and mash their heads in. They were mostly just doing body shots and light little taps.
Jake Paul made some type of Lunchables thing recently.
Yeah, it was him and
Mr.
that other guy.
Beast and this guy KSI.
Yeah, that's
who
what I'm seeing.
That's another thing that I'm seeing on Twitter recently. Is KSI. So it's some guy, I think his name is Dan TDM. Is some older Minecraft YouTuber, or I don't know what he really does, but he was just like, this is lame. It's just sort of like marketing like directly to kids with your product.
These garbage Lunchables or your feast bars that are crap and Prime drinks that have multiple lawsuits.
Yeah. And it's just, they all like took, and not Mr. Beast, but KSI and Logan Paul, or Jake Paul. I don't even know which one's which.
One of them, yeah.
Got really offended about that.
I mean, I
keep on bringing it up.
Yeah, I get that they want to defend their brand, but if you're trying to make like the new Lunchables, you're A, deserving of some heat just for trying to make a new Lunchables, but B, trying to push your crap products in them at the same time. Like, you're obviously not, like, nobody's falling for this. Yeah, it's we care about kids thing. Like, I get you have to say it, but why are you trying to defend that?
I don't think
that's fake as hell.
A Lunchable is kind of like a treat. It's not. I don't think it could have ever been like a real meal. Maybe for like
but there
first graders is enough food.
When we were looking up the Lunchables history, there was a part of it where there was a mother who had raised concerns. I don't know if it was like directly to Lunchables or through petition or whatnot, or like just got some viral marketing campaign that they weren't healthy. So Lunchables took notice and corrected. I think they took out Airheads and like the dessert pizzas and stuff like that just to take most of the sugar and bullshit out of it. So they did a little bit better, and then they did a little bit of recognize of like, you know what, maybe you're right, maybe we should tone this back some. So that's at least one step in the right direction. I'm not going to go to bat for a corporation, but
fair enough. Yeah,
that's more than most corporations would do when posed with a threat of, hey, you're making stuff unhealthy for kids.
I remember this really old tweet from like a couple years ago of when Mr. Beast first released his Feastables bars. And it was, someone was like a really big fan of Mr. Beast and was like, I saw like the whole like merchandising of it. It was like all messed up and like, you know, boxes were like turned and like, you know, bars were out of the boxes and stuff, and took a picture of that, and then he cleaned it all up and, you know, put the stuff back in there, and then took another picture and was like, I love Mr. Beast, so I did this. And someone else just took those pictures in reverse. And it was just like, I hate Mr. Beast.
I hate Mr. Beast.
So I went and I fucked up his thing. Little candy bars.
Hell yeah.
It's
such a good meme. I hate Mr. Beast, so I messed it right back up. I saw you take the picture.
This is the same exact pictures in opposite order. So good.
That's almost tops one of the best jokes I've ever seen in picture format, of somebody who had sent a picture of a left flip-flop and said, hey, I'm missing the right one of this. Can anyone find it? And someone just flipped the image and sent it back and said, is this it?
That rules.
This made me laugh so hard. That's the best. That's the best when it's just so simple and just like it's at the most unexpected. It's the most low-hanging fruit. Like you trip over it. It was so low-hanging. That just makes it so funny.
There's a place by me that it's just like a Japanese place. And I went in and I like ordered a sandwich or whatever, sat down. I got served by a robot.
Yeah.
So they got like 2 robots in there, and they'll like put the food in there, and then it'll just
play your little song. Do 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 do. Your food's here.
Yeah. But so I got my like boba tea, whatever, and I realized I didn't get the straw, but I already hit the button saying I got it, so it like started going away.
Tackle the robot, get your straw back.
I considered it, but no, I just ended up asking for one. I fucked it up immediately. These things are supposed to be convenient, and this is definitely user error.
Yeah, I went to a KBBQ place that had robot things, and immediately we saw the error in them because we ordered for 3 people or 3 different things, and the robot just came stacked with shit, and we were just like, as it came up, and then a waiter like quickly followed behind it, just took everything off it. And it's just like, all right, I guess it's just an automated like carrier. That's cool.
Yeah, you still send the waiter, like it's.
Right, you still send the waiter though, because that would have been a lot of like, all right, to this and then to this, would have taken a long time.
But yeah, I thought it was cool, to get served by a robot. I guess it was like a cool gimmick. I guess I don't know if it's really that much more useful or cheaper than just having someone walk it over, but you could have less staff overall.
I was gonna say, yeah, I guess it's probably cheaper on labor costs in the long run.
I kind of wish I went to a place though that had the carousel though. You know, like the
like the sushi carousel, like the conveyor belt.
The conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never been to a place like that. I think that'd be fun.
Take what you can grab, and if you get the red plate, it's $5. Blue plate $6. Yellow plate $7 or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is how they do it. All you eat, and then you just turn your plates in at the end.
Oh, that's cool. That's how they do that.
I've seen some places do it that way. I don't know if everyone does that, but that's one way. You're sitting at the thing, so it's not like you can put the plates back or anything, or else they'd fucking know.
What we need is a place that serves you a pizza directly from the freezer on a conveyor belt.
We hate you pizza. Pizza place that just lets you know they do not care. They want you gone as quick as possible, and they are willing to do anything, and that includes hit you with the pizza.
Yeah.
To get you gone.
What a beautiful place.
Everybody there just sitting in silence, staring at a cold piece of pizza, waiting for the bell to get ringed so they can eat.
5-star restaurant. It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's an experience.
It is. It is a destination and an experience.
We specifically bought the most uncomfortable chairs and tables.
Yes, everybody just has to sit there. They're just
so you leave
the whole
quicker.
time. Yeah, they're all the chairs that are actually just like sloped downwards, like those anti-fucking homeless ones you see all everywhere.
Yeah. That's so ridiculous.
I like the ones that are like the middle of a bench carved out for a wheelchair.
Yeah, like who's gonna believe that?
It's just like, what do you mean they need a place to sit? They're in a wheelchair. You just pull up next to the bench. It doesn't make any sense. Or pull up, yeah, it's so stupid.
How do you like, you could just say you don't want homeless people there and then catch flack for that. But now you're catching flack for that and people think you're stupid.
Have you seen the concrete spikes on the underpass? That's another one of my favorites. So like prevent people from camping there. It's like, oh yeah, now if anybody gets into a car crash, everybody's fucked.
Yeah.
Hope a truck doesn't tip over on there.
Hostile architecture is what they call it, and yeah, it is. It is like literally spikes.
it's just
on
concrete
places
spikes.
that a person might want to be or might end up.
Or a car. That's the other thing. Imagine if a freight truck accidentally tips over there and just gets speared. So much extra damage. Although I don't know how much extra damage it would be. If it falls on its side, it's pretty much fucked. Dude, speaking of damage to cars, have you ever driven in the back-ass country roads of like Iowa or even like down south in Illinois?
Yeah, I mean, I've went on some pretty back-ass roads.
They are fucking scary. It'll be like 6 miles of what they call a highway that's just 2 lanes of they're like 1.5 car wide, like total. And there's just like 6-foot culverts on each side. And the fence is a wire that sometimes is there. The culverts are dug by the people that live there so that cars don't drive on their property. The safety measures are put in by the government so that people don't fall into the culverts. Guess which one is more well kept? Those are some very steep and I'm going to die culverts.
I don't think I've really seen that, but I mean, you don't want someone on your property, you dig them out.
Yeah, it's basically what
Put alligators in there.
It's fucking crazy to think like, oh yeah, you were talking about the truck runoff ramps that were cool. Like, yeah, safety design in mind, even though it takes a little extra space. That's just a safety. Fuck you. Like, yeah, your truck, if it runs out of, blows a tire, you might be able to come onto my land and, nobody will get hurt and thank God. But you destroy so much of my money, I'd rather you fucking die. It's like, what the hell? What is the point of why that shouldn't be allowed? No digging moats around your place.
Yeah, there's It ends up being allowed. There's a whole thing where some guy kept on getting his mailbox hit, so he completely encased it in like a column of concrete.
Yeah, he dug down. Yeah,
someone hit it and died, or got like severely injured, and he wasn't found at fault for that. So you can do stuff like that. Not the same as booby trap laws, because you can see it.
I was gonna say booby trap is you have to let them know that it is about to happen.
It has to be visible. Yeah. But yeah, like you can do shit like that.
So does that mean those Halloween decorations where they're hiding the trap thing, is that illegal?
What trap thing?
You know, like you step on the button and like the spider jumps out, the guy pops out of the coffin. It's usually like a weight sensor thing you step on, but it's usually meant to be hidden.
I think if somebody had like a heart attack after that, they or suffer some actual serious injury, that could be a case.
But the haunted house is labeled, and you could make the argument: what are you supposed to expect at a haunted house? Think it's gonna just be tickles and giggles? No, you're supposed to get scared. So it's yeah.
But if it's just in front of a regular house.
True.
Like, how
if
much
you're
do
just
you
walking
expect the
down
decoration
the
to be?
Yeah, and if you put it like out on the sidewalk, I've seen some people do that. Could be. Or if you just give a gun to them too, it'd probably over the line a little bit.
Well, it is October, so you know, I'm just gonna start drinking 10 energy drinks a day to hurt my heart, and I'm gonna go around these things until something happens.
To hurt my heart. Probably hurt your kidneys a lot too, bud.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not gonna have a kidney attack if I get too scared. I mean, that also hurt me as well.
Yeah, the heart wants to attack me, I'll fucking attack it right back.
Yeah.
Take that, you piece of shit. Oh, that's so good.
Did we ever talk about those signs? It's like speed limit enforced by aircraft.
Yeah.
Did I bring that up on here? Okay.
Oh wait, no, I don't know if we brought it up on here. We've talked about it before
Okay.
though. Aren't those like super illegal? To have an aircraft like fly around and like what you call it, monitor people?
Well, I mean, so I originally I saw that sign. The first image that came to my head is that if you go too fast, like a fucking F-15 is just gonna shoot a missile at you.
Just fly away.
Yeah, like
smoke you off the road.
It's enforced by the aircraft. You better not speed, and that's how they do it. You know, just the fear of that happening keeps everyone in line.
That'd be awesome. But they show a little prop plane on there, like a crop duster underneath.
Yeah,
like it's a picture of one.
Well, I didn't think I saw that plane in this image or on this sign, but apparently it's like it's probably drones now mostly, but you get like a guy and like you like look at a car and then you'll start a timer. You'll pay attention to two specific markers that you set for the road, and then you time someone traveling from one to the other, and then if they get there too quickly for the speed limit, then you administer a ticket. After, you know, like getting the license plate, you mail it to them. But it's probably drones now, because like, why would you put a whole person? Like, you just have like a drone float there and like just check.
Yeah, it'd probably be a lot easier too, because you probably need some crazy type of camera to be able to affix to a plane and like be operated at the same time. It's probably one person flying, one person doing the camera. Yeah, drones would probably be easier.
It just feels like a lot for speeding.
Yeah, no.
Running a whole plane for that?
I thought I read somewhere that those, like actually having planes to enforce that is illegal in places.
Well, this would have been like 2018. So.
Speed limit by plane. Let me look into this real quick. The state police now operate a fleet of fixed-wing aircraft for speed enforcement. No, still is planes.
No.
Yeah.
It's just still like enforced by aircraft. I guess that the definition of enforce, like, yeah, they like get your information and stuff, but the idea of enforce in my head still is like that they will intervene.
They will intervene. They'll just see like a plane flying behind you with the lights on, like, oh geez, better pull this one over to a field. Mm-hmm. Apparently it is legal in Illinois, and yeah, they do have a fleet of planes. I don't know where they deploy them at and keep them like active. But
the one time I've seen it is a mountain.
Okay, that makes sense.
In Appalachia.
It makes sense, especially because it'd probably be harder for an actual police officer to be on those roads constantly. Probably be easier for a plane to maneuver around it. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
I'm surprised they didn't move to drones yet.
Maybe it's a little too expensive. Maybe people who are on the police force aren't too good at learning drones. Maybe it just takes one good drone operator to become a cop. One drone racer or whatever. No, those things are so fragile too. You know, it's so fragile and expensive. I don't know if it's really, they might be able not to fit that in the budget.
But a plane? I guess they already have the planes.
Yeah, and they're a lot less fragile. Planes can fly so many times without even having to whack them, flunk them, tape them up. They're good to go. I really want an idea that is a service bell. It's to where like you're supposed to ring for service, but it just does the opposite of that. Like it scares you off. So I just want a bell that's just like attached to a gun that just fires in the air, like near you. So like you show up like, oh, no one's here, ding, and then just bang. You're like, what's that? And you just run out of the building, and you're like, it's a theft deterrent because if a theft comes in, then
like a doorbell.
Sort of, not like a doorbell, like a ring service bell. You know, like you walk up to the desk, no one's there, and then bang, just shoots a gun into the ceiling.
Was the gun visible?
No, that's the whole point. It's supposed to like spook you. But it's not meant to hurt you or anything. Just meant to scare you real quick. And I guess it probably do some damage to your eardrums. So maybe the gun's a little farther away.
I mean, you could probably just like attach it to like a system that very clearly, like, if you hit the thing, like the gun's pointing like directly at you from behind the bell.
I don't want to kill anybody who's just ringing the bell.
We're not gonna ring the bell.
So we have the second gun that goes after. Oh, bye, sweetheart. We have a second gun that's lined up to another bell that's lined up on like the floor. So if they step on that when they go past the line, that gun shoots them. Because at that point they're trespassing and they deserve to get shot. But if you're just, looking for somebody to come take your order or whatever, then you ring the bell at the desk and then you get scared off and leave.
So, how are you gonna make money?
Anybody who's bold enough to stay
guns.
after that, they deserve my business.
See, when you were explaining this, I first thought like, you have a bell to get service, and then you have a bell to not get service.
A bell to specifically not get service. No,
Yeah.
it's a bell
Like, you wait for them to show up, and then you hit the other bell to scare them off.
No, it's not to scare the workers away. It's to scare you away from the establishment. You're not wanted. You're not welcome.
I see.
That's the vibes you got to give off.
I remember when I was younger, I went to like one of those indoor like hotel water park things, and they had a little ice cream like stand window thing, and I never actually seen like a bell like that to call someone's attention. I knew what it was for. I just wasn't thinking, and I just sort of think like, ooh, ding, 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 ding,
You started
ding,
dinging
ding,
it.
ding, 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 ding. So I definitely seemed like the most asshole like 8-year-old on the block because someone came by and then grabbed it and put it inside the window and shut it again.
It's one of my favorite 4chan green texts. It's just ding, 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 ding. Someone hitting a bell. Just ding, ding, ding 90 times.
My favorite of that genre would then be just a picture of a dog drinking water, and it's just a slurp, 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 slurp.
Pretty good.
You can hear it,
Memes you can hear.
Exactly.
Well, that is about time to wrap it up again for this episode. Thanks for tuning in to Cold Hard Trash CRT episode 20. If you liked what you heard, tell your friends about it. Spread the good news, the good word of the podcast, all 5 stars of it.
Please.
Or else.
Thank you.